Can I get you out of your element telling me unintelligible shit like leave it in, damn. Find the escape route, conflicted things, thinking rings and circles that twist about unnerving traces of my lips. He drifts and bursts like a bad pipeline. The tip off.
Alright, we definitely live and direct. Let the people marinate for a little bit. I know y'all can hear us in the background. Yeah, it's another Wednesday night extravaganza. Know what I mean? Fresh Poetry is in the building. And oh yeah, we got an announcement to make. Shout out to everybody in the YouTube chat, definitely. I'm gonna let y'all come in. Y'all gonna see the background screen play for a little bit. A little introduction and shit. Oh man, we got guests in the house with us tonight. I got another third member now. It's like a triangle offense in this bitch. Y'all just don't know what's up my sleeve. Oh my god. Oh man, this is what it is. Let's go ahead and show the people what's going down. It's been a long time, and you know, we took a couple of days off. We took a week off. Let it marinate from the last episode. Let's come out. Let me come out. Here I go. Harlem Fresh 125 all day, every day. Even when I'm out of state, I'm in a New York state of mind. Fresh Poetry is back in the building. J. Marie, where you at?
What's going on, everybody? J. Marie here.
As you should be. The only place to be on a Wednesday night around this time. And hold up. I gotta introduce the third member to the crew now.
Yes.
Hey, yo, Glow, where you at, baby?
Hi.
Yeah.
How y'all doing?
Yeah.
We got a sister on the panel. That's what I'm talking about.
Conversations with Glow is in the building, and she is definitely a part of this extravaganza that's going on. And we got more to come. We got things working behind the scenes, but now
I'm excited.
Harlem Fresh, J. Marie Poetry, Conversations with Glow, or you just call her Glow. We the triangle offense in this bitch right now. That's what it is. I ain't gonna waste no time. Fresh Poetry Wednesday night. We talking sexual chemistry tonight. Is that correct?
Yep, that is the first topic.
Okay. So we got a couple of guests in the house with us tonight too. Let me see. Jennifer, where you at, baby?
Kansas City.
Okay, that's what we're talking about. How you doing, sweetheart? Welcome to the show.
I'm well, thanks.
All right, we're in the building. I'm glad you could join and make sure you put your 2 cents in on whatever you feel like. Ain't no punches held back on this show all right now. Let's see here. And then we got let me see, the Dynamite Experience. Who that?
What's good? It's Winston Dynamite Brown.
Okay, Winston Dynamite. Winston Dynamite. Salute. Appreciate you coming on the platform and chopping up with us today. I like this shit right now. I feel good. We will have a few more callers calling up and chiming in on the show. We are live on YouTube. Everybody in the YouTube chat, I see y'all. Salute. We in the building, but I'm gonna go ahead and pass the mic over to J. Marie so she can go ahead and do what she do. Go ahead, sweetheart. It's yours.
All right. So the topic today, as we mentioned earlier, is sexual chemistry. So we want to talk about whether or not, first of all, we want to talk about what sexual chemistry is. So from the guys and girls, women and men rather, we want to get everybody's take on it. So first and foremost, Glow, let me get your take on it. What do you consider sexual chemistry?
I don't know, to be honest with you, because a lot of people think that sexual chemistry is when, I guess, like when I think people get turned on like when they're kissing and stuff. And it's just like, I don't like kissing. So it's just like, it's, you know, it don't all be there, you know, when it comes to the sexual chemistry, because I've ran into people that do like to kiss, but it don't just like be there. So I have mixed feelings when it comes to sexual chemistry.
Okay.
I'm not mad at that, because I mean, when you say like when people be kissing and shit, like I'm a germaphobe first and foremost. Know what I mean? And I don't be with all that swap and spit everywhere. We not doing that. We definitely not doing that. Chemistry, sexual chemistry. Would you say that sexual chemistry can be without contact?
Yeah.
Cause I've heard I've heard that when a female sees a gentleman, they know within the first maybe 5 to 10 minutes if they would like to sleep with them or not. Am I wrong? Let me know. Talk to me. I'm asking.
No, you're not wrong.
I think you're right.
So,
I think you're right.
when you see a gentleman,
Mostly.
then that sparks sexual. I guess that would spark the visual of sexual chemistry for a female. Is that correct?
Just the visual, sure. If you look at like the big picture of what I think sexual chemistry is, it's more like a feeling, kind of like an intangible, like a sexual tension or like that spark, kind of like you click, whether or not. Like the best sexual chemistry is when you're vibing and speaking and there doesn't even have to be any touching. That's when you really know it's on and popping. And
see, mentally.
Yeah, I can dig that, Jennifer. I can dig that.
No doubt. Winston, where you at, my guy? What's your thoughts when it comes to sexual chemistry? Does it always have to be physical? Can it be just mental? Like, cause I would like for a female to intrigue me mentally. I've seen big asses and fat titties all my life. That don't impress me as far as when you're trying to really chill with somebody. So mentally, if you could stimulate me mentally, and then you could hold a decent conversation and we can intrigue each other mentally, everything else will lead up to what it needs to lead up to. But Winston, I want to get your perspective on that. Go ahead, sir.
I think it's when the same vibration with somebody else. When your soul recognizes another, you basically want to figure out.
I think you're cutting in and out, man, because I want to hear you clearly. I want the people to hear you clearly. You're cutting in and out.
Sexual chemistry is basically a conversation that you allow to happen physically. You know what I mean? I think that you do have to allow it to manifest or matriculate in a physical way. You can have connections without touching, but you won't know if the chemistry is truly there until you put hands or some other body part connected to the person.
True.
Okay.
That's just my take.
No, and I can agree with that assessment, because it's like, the thought of having sex with a female, it could just be running wild because you haven't actually had sex with that female. But then once you get a chance to have sex with them, shit, it's a crapshoot. That shit might be whack. It's a 50-50.
Exactly. I was getting ready to say that. It just be like, the talk can be good. Trust and believe that. Like, the talk can definitely be good. But once you guys have, if you have sex and it's not what she thought it was going to be, or what he thought it was going to be, it's a wrap. So do you really, if that can cut it right there, was that really chemistry?
Well, that's why you gotta listen to the real vibration. You can't get lost in what you see, because everything that glitters, you want to listen to the very thing that warns you to do good or bad things. Is the same way you choose the person you're going to be with. And so if you don't feel
good to you ain't good for you.
Right. So if you literally don't feel that stirring, then that's probably not the person for you. And it does take a dual investment. So you can want it to be everything you need it to be, but if you're not walking to that space, investing to make it magical, then it ain't gonna happen.
Dope, definitely. I agree with that. I like that assessment.
That's
sir.
100%.
Hold up.
Yeah.
But before we go on, I want to give a shout out. We got Thelonious, he's in the building, and we got Shyness in the building with us tonight too. Thelonious and Shyness, welcome to the Fresh Poetry Show. We in the building. We 7 deep right now. We got people in the YouTube chat, and we still got more to come to talk on this sexual chemistry topic that J. Marie cooked up. J. Marie, go ahead, speak, sweetheart.
Okay, so let's see. We got Shyness. We'll go next for one of you ladies. We want to talk about sexual chemistry and what is sexual chemistry to you. So let's get a definition from that point of view. And speaking to the mic, you might want to get closer if you're talking, so that way we can hear you.
Oh yeah, I can't hear you.
So the question is, what is sexual chemistry?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Sexual chemistry. I believe not just the intimacy part, but sometimes when you just see, for a woman, when you see a man, you connect. I believe it's sort of a connection, and once that connection it begins from there. Once you have that connection, then the chemistry starts, and then I don't know, once you start speaking, it all blends in. I didn't get enough time to think about it, but that's what I can say. This is my sister Vivian. Maybe she has something to say.
What's up, sis? How you doing, baby? I see you. Salute. Welcome to the show.
Hi. So sexual chemistry. Okay, so when I think about that as a woman, I would think it's just that that can come with you just one being that connection, what Caroline said, meeting someone, conversation, oh God, I don't know.
No, I mean, I understand you, because like I said, like sexual chemistry, it doesn't always have to be physical. It can be mental. And I think a lot of people prefer the mental part of it before the physical aspect of it. But once it becomes physical, you could be let down because it might be whack. So you might have all that anticipation just for a womp womp. Now I mean, a womp womp. We call it a womp womp. Now I mean, we don't want to be hyped up just to fall into a womp womp. We're not doing that.
So you saying you can get it and you can also lose it then?
Exactly. You can, and that's the saying how it goes. Dang, it was just on the tip of my tongue, y'all. Oh, go ahead, Marie.
Don't say that. I'm sorry. Like some fresh poetry now. You know, we ain't gonna play.
All right, I'm gonna say this with caution. Who Thelonious? I'm gonna ask you this question, and keep it short and sweet, okay? What is sexual chemistry in your definition?
Well, the first thing I'd say is I kind of disagree with everybody in the sense that sexual chemistry is more than just physical. Sexual chemistry to me is 100% physical. That's all it is. It has its chemical, like, reactions and things like that, pheromones or hormones or whatever it is you want to call it. But and I also disagree with them when they say that it can be gained or lost. I believe sexual chemistry is something that is literally, like, it is the biological component that kind of makes you attracted to, the person in a sense of, like, in a physical sense. And I mean, yes, you can develop intimacy, and you can develop, I would say, like a sexual connection with one another, but that's not really chemistry. That's something totally different. I think chemistry is something.
I'm appalled. Thelonious, my brother, you've been on this show, I think, I don't know how many times you've been on here, but you've been on here good enough. So you family now, my nigga. And I want to ask you this question. I want to ask you this simple question. Thelonious, have you never not mind fucked a female?
Of course, but that's not sexual chemistry.
To them it is.
No,
to them it is. But to us,
because that's where the saying comes. It done came back to my mind. I'm sorry to cut you off. That's where the saying comes. Don't you want to get to know me first?
Yeah. Right, but that's chemistry. That's not sexual chemistry. I mean, if you look up by definition of sexual, there is a sexual component to it. That means there is a physicality to it.
I feel you.
It's chemistry. It's chemistry.
Yeah, but couldn't you develop that just by, like, talking, like, oh, I'm gonna do this to you, I'm gonna do that to you, and then they got this whole build up, so there's chemistry there, but then when you act on it, it's not there, the build up, but then it ain't nothing.
I would say no.
You think chemistry is more like energy, where it's not destroyed?
Yes. Well, I mean, if you're thinking about matter, matter can be created or destroyed. Chemistry is not.
There you go. See, so clearly I don't know shit about chemistry.
he's breaking it down. I'm not disagreeing with him. I'm not disagreeing. He's breaking it down. Actually.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even with that though, you can still have chemistry with somebody on a mental level.
Yes,
and
but
then
that's
when you get to the physical part, then it could be, hey, this was bogus. This was a waste of my time. Or you get with that person and you're like, okay, yeah, this is not the person I thought this was.
You can have like a chemistry with somebody, and you're absolutely right, James. That's what I'm talking about. You can have a chemistry with someone, but it does not develop sexual chemistry until you either start going down the process of either having sex or having sex.
So let me ask y'all this then. Do y'all believe in the term or the phrase love at first sight? Have you ever seen a female, fellas or ladies, have you ever seen a gentleman, as soon as you seen them, you was like, yo, damn, I love them?
You mean lust?
No, it's lust them.
Okay.
The initial is lust.
Yes.
Exactly.
If I can actually speak on this part, like to be honest, the Greeks have like different tiers of love. If you understand, there's eros, there's agape, there's I forget what the other ones are, but there are different tiers of love. There is the love in the sense of lust, which is just a physical form of love. There is an everlasting, it's a what do you call it? It's an everlasting, it's a never-ending love, which is agape essentially. And so again, I don't think that there is any such thing as love at first sight. There's lust, like you said, at first sight, but it's not the same thing as love.
Especially nowadays.
Okay.
Nowadays, it ain't. A lot of people don't even know what love is, or they don't know how to cultivate it, grow it, mature it, and develop it. A lot of people they see something they like and they're like, ooh, I want to sleep with this person. They sleep with that person and they keep it pushing. Or they get involved with that person, they get what they want, and they're like, ooh, this was kind of easy, so I can get some more from them. And they continuously rip energy from them and empty out their cup. And instead of filling their cup back up, they just take what they need from that cup and they bounce.
James, put your camera down, fam. It's cutting half your face off on the show. I want people to see you. I want them to see you, so they know who's talking. You know what I mean? But I agree with you. On that. Let me see. Let me ask this question. Can you love somebody even if you're not with them?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's like the question that they asked in my group today is like, it was something about who do the men love the most, or is it possible to love more than one person? Me personally, I think it's very true that you can love more than one person and you can love them at the same time. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a different time, because I feel like it's a connection that you have with somebody in order for you to love them. And even though, like, let's say for instance, you was in a relationship with one person, but y'all broke it off because of different things, and then you get with somebody else and you love that person, at the same time, and then you can still possibly be communicating with them, and so therefore it's still growing there. So me personally, in my own opinion, I really do feel like that a person can love more than two people. They can love more than you. It can be more than just two people.
I think you can love at different levels too. You can have friendship love, an intimate love.
Exactly.
I can agree with that, because it's like you can love somebody even if they don't choose you, or even if you're not with them, but you can still have that love for them. But that don't mean you have the physical lust for them. But I still love you, You still a solid person. I fuck with you. Like regardless whether I'm with you or not, I still fuck with you. I love you. Like if you need me, I got you. We just not on a point to where we intimate. You know what I mean? Shit like that.
Right.
You see, the interesting thing about that, I used to have more of a philosophy where I would say that yes, you could love 2, 3, 4, 5 people, whatever, with the same kind of passion and intensity that you would, the one person. But now that I look at it from years of experience, I would kind of say no. I mean, you can have a lower like affection style love for someone, but you can't have the same kind of love
It's
that you
levels.
have for
It's levels,
right.
Thelonious. It's
But
levels.
but what I'm saying is that
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing
that
with you
upper
100%.
tier. So I'm
It's
not gonna
levels
say
of
so.
love.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
That top tier of love is literally like a pyramid. It's at the very top. There's no space for two people.
Jennifer,
Yeah,
what's
you
your
can have love
assessment
But
on
for
this
that?
is
them,
totally
not love
dismissing the notion of
of them.
polyamory.
Hold up, Winston. I'm gonna let you go, but I wanted to get Jennifer's input. Then I'm gonna let you go.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with Thelonious that there are multiple people you can love, but it may not be, you cannot put the same energy into each person. You're going to burn yourself out. And then nobody's getting the best self, because if you're putting all that energy into loving all these people the way they need to be loved, deserve to be loved, you're not getting that yourself. But that's not to say that you can't have like your significant other whom you love more than anything and you'll do anything with and want to build that kingdom with, but you don't still have love for someone else. Like, it doesn't change. It's just a different type of love.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a commander when I was in the Army that he told us every day that he wanted 75%. He was like, I need 75% of your energy every day, all day, because you got to save something for when you go home, because the people at home deserve just as much energy, effort, and attention as I do here. So he wanted that 75% every single day. And he
I like that. I like that. I like that.
said, you got to have, like I said, you don't fill that cup up at home. You're
The only thing that doesn't make sense, if you're gonna give. But
Okay, so
I'm just saying the math doesn't add up.
Winston,
you missed the point.
Mute, James. Mute
Hey.
yourself, sir. Mute yourself.
Hold on, where Winston at? Go ahead,
Winston.
Winston. Let me get your
Go ahead,
assessment on
Winston.
Yeah, I'm with that.
I just think it totally discredits the notion of polyamory, which exists. Is by definition, it says that you have time, space, and energy to love and create space for multiple entities. So there's that. And going back a few moments ago, I do believe fervently in the ideal of love at first sight. I think it is completely plausible to meet someone and want to be everything for that person and do what it takes to be in the room with that person. Now, y'all getting lost in the parceling out what kind of love. Love is an ideal, and it changes for everyone. It evolves in the same way that you do. Hopefully everybody on this panel 10 years ago has a different understanding of what love is than they did 10 years ago, than they did 20 years ago.
Exactly.
It still means love to them. And so what we can't do is tell people what love means to them and how that looks when it happens to them. I know that I definitely got lucky because I found someone, and the first time I did see them, I knew that this was the person I wanted to be with, period. And I did everything I could to get that person to be and align with me. So it does exist. It can happen. And going back to the polyamory, you can have, if that is a dynamic that you are willing to invest in. If it works, it works. Some people do have the energy to love everyone that's in their circle the way they need to be loved, to be seen, to be cared for, and to be nurtured. Period.
Yo, let me add something on to that. I need to add something on to that. I don't know if I just cut your wisdom. I apologize if I did, but see, that's what I was getting at. Love is like a thought, an idea. Like a podcast. You have an idea or you want to do something. Nobody knows about it, but it's your idea from start. And you build on it and you work on it until you achieve it. So can you say that's in contrast to like love at first sight? I see this person like, yo, damn, she bad. Oh, nah, I gotta have her. I don't give a fuck what it take, no matter what it is. I gotta get her. Know what I mean? And it's an idea. It's a thought at first. Nobody knows it. Only you have idea. Not even a female knows you look at her like that. But it's just like, yo, damn, nah, I need to work on this. This is a goal that I need to accomplish. I need this person. Am I wrong for thinking that way? Or
are you thinking that way because she looked good? Or are you thinking that way because she looked good?
Well, the first thing you see is somebody off the rip.
Yes.
You see them.
Exactly.
So it's like, yo, damn.
And that's
but
why
then
I don't
you get
believe
to
in
know
love
that
at first
person
sight.
because once you see them, you get attracted to them. And that determines whether you want to get to know that person. Because if I see you and you look good, it's like, yo, damn, hold on, I need to talk to you right quick. What we doing? Hold on, where are you going? Like, nah, I mean, if I see you and you look good, I gotta talk to you. That's what it is. And then once you put the time to invest in the talking and the conversation, you find out if it could be more than what it is to what you thought it was. I don't know.
Right, but at the end of the day, again, I challenge the notion that that's love at first sight. You are attracted at first sight. You might have good chemistry, you know, and then you build on that. You don't love the person out the gate. I mean, I find that to be, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be insulting, but I honestly find that to be, you know, something that is very naive. Someone thinking, oh, I love somebody out the gate. You might be attracted to someone. You might have a good chemistry with someone, but you sure as hell don't love them.
Thelonious.
You can't say.
Hold on. Thelonious. How many times have you been married, Thelonious?
Once.
Once? Okay.
And divorced now, yes.
Okay. When you first seen your wife, your first one, let's erase all the bad shit. It ain't even happened. When you first seen her for the first time, what was the thought process? And keep it 100 on here.
Well, first off, I've known her since I was practically a kid. I mean, it was a long time. As a matter of fact, before I even dated the wife, I was dating her sister.
Yo, why Thelonious not answering the question? He giving me the story. What the fuck are we
you
doing?
asked me. You asked me when I first. You asked me when I first laid eyes on her. I laid eyes on her when I was probably about 7 years old. So that obviously was not in my head at that time. I mean, you know, I don't know what you want me to say. That I've known her for a long time. You know,
I'm talking about when you knew you had feelings, my nigga.
I mean, yeah, that's after we had started talking and after we had started dating and shit like that. But that was not love at first sight. That was literally like, I know you, okay, let's get to know each other in a different way. But it was not love at first sight. I have never felt love at first sight with any woman I've ever met. I have felt attraction, and I've worked to get to know that person. And then when I get to know the person, I build out that relationship even further. I mean, but like, even when we're talking about the chemistry of love and all the shit, you want to go like my first wife, like I thought that was it and forever. I thought I was there, you know. And
you know what that sounds
like
to me, Thelonious? That sounds like you married your first wife because you knew her and it was convenient.
No.
Who's
married?
No. Hold on. I'm not trying to be funny, but the way you just described that makes it seem like you married her because it was convenient, because you known her, so you wanted to know her on a different level. It was convenient.
No. Not to me.
Am I the only one that caught that drift right there?
I mean, he said he known her since, you know, he was 7 years old, so they grew up together. So I mean, I can understand where you get where she could have been convenient. She was there.
Who's married on this
the most inconvenient of circumstances. I was dating her sister.
You experimented. See, I remember
That's
this.
not convenient.
I was married twice.
That's not convenient at all. That was inconvenient, and it just happened.
And I looked at it.
Like, we had
I looked at it every.
Winston was asking
From
who
the
all is
time
married
I
on the
met
panel.
both of my ex-wives.
Yeah, just for perspective.
He
I've been
was
married
asking
twice.
who all is married on the panel.
Oh no, I'm not married. No,
I'm not married.
I'm not currently no.
So is it three?
You're
Is
the lone wolf.
three married couple? Three married people. Folks. There we go. Okay.
So I know, like the first time when I met my first wife, I looked at it as a challenge.
James, because after that, I want to ask the married people a question. But
Okay,
ahead, James.
all right. Well, I was saying that when I met my ex-wife, or both of them actually, I looked at it as a challenge. I met them through my first one. I met her through a friend, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna bag this chick. That was my little challenge to myself. Because when I was in the Army, I was childish. I was like, hey, let's get it. And
hold on, wait, I'm sorry. What did you say? You was gonna do what?
I'm a bag this shit. I know exactly what that means.
A nigga's logic.
That was my goal. So like when I ran into her, my goal was, hey, I'm gonna get this chick, and I'm gonna do it just to do it. And I wasn't expecting nothing to happen. And when I did it, whoop de whoop, one thing led to another, and we were like talking one night, we're like, hey, what if we get married? And it just kind of happened. Then,
God.
some other shit happened. We got divorced. Long story short,
So
we got divorced.
I'm sorry, James. We need to know what the whoop de whoop part was, because you definitely just went to whoop de whoop. Then we
hold on, James. Let me see if I can. Let me decipher it for you, James. The whoop de whoop part is he bagged her. He, know what I mean, hollered at her. They start politicking. He wound up smashing.
He will.
Was chilling for a while.
And so he wanted to get married.
No,
that's what happened.
He didn't
Am I
want
right,
to. I think
Marie?
he got conned.
If you get to know me, that's not a thing, because I'm not that kind of dude. Like I'm just not.
The putty. Not that kind of dude.
Real stuff like that's just not me. But
fuck out my face.
I sit there and we had our little thing and got married. Then some craziness jumped off. I went to Iraq for a year, came back, more craziness. Then we got divorced. Then I got a girl pregnant. So the chick that I got pregnant, I turned around and married. And we had a kid. She already had 3 kids. So I raised all of those kids as my own. Then once we both got out of the Army, we fell apart. Like we grew apart.
Fuck out
like
my face with that shit.
Military life and civilian life forced us to grow apart. And we got divorced. And now I'm single with 1 kid that I made and 3 that I raised. So it's all good.
Okay.
But I still need to know about the whoop de whoop.
No.
I still need to know about the whoop de whoop, because did you get a little pussy whip? Because you just like, okay, we should get married.
It was when we first started talking, she was in a rotation. She was in that rotation. And she stood out and she stuck around.
I understand this language.
You gotta be honest, right? 100% honesty. She was in rotation, and she stuck around. Ended up, going through the little time, and we were sitting there drinking one night, and I was like, "What if we got married?"
Wow.
She was like, "All right."
Y'all, can I ask you this though, James? Did you have the kid before or after the marriage?
The second marriage, I had a kid before.
Yeah. Hold on. So the one that you was in the Army with, you had a kid before?
I was in the Army with both of them. I was in the Army with both of them.
Oh.
So the first one I was married.
Okay.
For a year.
Had a kid on it, right?
Divorced. No.
Oh, okay.
We did the first marriage. We didn't have no kids at all. We got divorced, and I started talking to this other chick. And once I started talking to this other chick, she was my Wednesday. She came over on a Wednesday. We kicked it, went to the gym, and had a baby.
Got names for on Wednesday.
I'm just saying. I was being honest. That's just being honest. And we had a baby. She was like, "Oh, I think I'm pregnant." I was like, "Okay, well, go to the doctor." I was like, "How you want to do that? Yeah. Or how you want to do this?" Because I know she already had 3 other kids, so I didn't know what she wanted to do. So she told me she wanted to keep it. I was like, "All right, cool." So the only child that I made on this planet, I raised. I have been there from the day he was born till now. He's 11 now, and I've been there every single day. I've never, pushed him to the side. I've always been there for that kid. I've gone to every parent-teacher conference, every doctor's appointment. I was the dude that went to Taco Bell at 3 a.m. when she was craving stuff. So like I was there, and still am there now.
Let me ask you this, and then I'm gonna get to Shyness, because Shyness got a question. I'm gonna ask you this though, and I'm serious, and I'm not trying to be funny, because that's not my thing. Would you say that you got married to her out of sympathy due to you having a kid with her, and you knew she had 3 other kids?
I would say that.
Good point.
Got married, and that played a big part in it, because I looked at it as, that song "She Got Kids" by Lyfe Jennings.
Mm-hmm.
That's my way of summing it up. It's like, okay,
Okay.
I created a kid with this girl. How am I going to tell the other kids that I don't want to be there no more? When they've grown attached to me. I've gotten to know them. They look at me as the dude figure in the house. So it's like, for me to walk away from that, I would feel like an asshole. So I didn't want to leave because, like, I was adopted as a kid, and I understand how that feels, to have a parent that you look up to. So I wanted to be that parent that they could look up to. I didn't want to just, hit mama in the bounce, especially, with her saying, hey, we're about to have a kid. And I'm like, oh shit, I ain't never had a kid before. So
I feel you. I just wanted to ask that question.
I
think it was a good question to ask, and your answer was honest and true.
Oh, for sure. Because a lot of people do it.
I love your answer.
Hold on. Shyness, let me get to you because you've been waiting patiently. Go ahead, Shyness.
We had that. No, we were trying to have a discussion, same discussion that you're having. So I wanted to unmute, but we didn't want to all talk at the same time. So my sister here was talking about love at first sight, and my niece here, they are both saying that they haven't experienced love at first sight personally, but my sister here is saying that she doesn't believe in that. But the two of us do believe in love at first sight, even though we haven't experienced it. I do strongly believe that, somebody can just see, whether you're young, old, whichever age, I can see this person and I say, fall in love, and like, this is the one I want to be with. And there's been people that have through that experience. So we cannot really say there's no love at first sight. Personally, it took some time before I fell in love.
Okay. Go ahead, talk your talk. I like it. Go ahead.
But while she's laughing, but for sure, I think, love at first sight. I think people think okay, you could see someone, they love the physical, but in love
Thank you.
To fall in love, it takes time. And I just recently, I heard this guy was saying he thought he was in love with his wife, not until when she was like sick or having their baby. That's when he was like, man, I went and I did this, and I think she probably had a poop in her behind that was stuck, and he went and took. I love women. So he said he didn't even realize that he was in love with her. That's when he realized he was in love with her. And sometimes you just don't know it until something happened or some type of experience, and then you're like saying, okay, I am in love. So I think that's
high five.
Okay. Hey, I love your assessment. I love it. I love every minute of it.
You see somebody and they have your kid, you see them differently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course.
Now,
dude, like me.
go ahead.
Can I actually speak on this? So was it me? Like, I didn't just like randomly get pregnant with my wife. Like, we had trouble. Like, I paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to like fucking have in vitro fertilization so that we had 3 miscarriages before my daughter finally came. 3 miscarriages. I was there through all of it. My ex-wife, she had a bout with leukemia, and like I was there with her throughout the whole process. The thing that broke us up was afterwards. She was on all these like mood elevators and all this other shit that like fucked up her mental state. And then we just ended up breaking apart. But I mean, I loved her. There was no question. But like I said,
okay,
I knew that I loved her, not because of like, us growing up together or anything. We built that. And this wasn't like, oh, we accidentally, but I fucked her and boom, pop, here comes a kid. No, we were going at it for a while and it wasn't happening. 3 fucking miscarriages, man. And I put money into making it happen. And when it did happen, it was the happiest day of my life. It still is, and it reaffirmed my belief and my love in her. And then the only thing that broke us apart was just like the craziness that followed with like her sickness. And it's like I was there throughout that whole process, and then once she went into remission, that's when shit got crazy, because they give you a whole cocktail of shit that's supposed to help repair your thing, but they don't account for the fact that your mental state is just rocked forever. Like, and I mean, damn, we went through some shit. I got stabbed. There was a lot of stories with that. Police called, all kinds of shit. So it just, it ended us, and it's unfortunate because I really do think that if it had not been for that, we would have been in it for the long haul.
Dope.
I don't know if I believe in marriage anymore. We'll see.
I could dig it. I could definitely dig it, man. Definitely. So, I mean, when it comes to love at first sight, sexual chemistry, whether it being mental or physical or, sexual, to me, if it's sexual, that means we touching each other. But at the end of the day, it's different strokes for different folks. Some people get stimulated mentally. Some people get stimulated physically. I just say do what you do, who you do it with, and make sure you're doing well because it needs to be done. You dig? Say that 3 times fast. Jay Marie, let's get to the next topic that we had on deck. What's goody, baby?
So the next topic kind of ties into what Thelonious and kind of what everybody was already talking about. And we're talking about compromise. So like Thelonious was saying, he went through a lot of shit in his relationship or in his past marriage. And there was a lot of compromise obviously involved. So we try to touch on kind of like what compromise, or if compromise does not exist in a relationship, can you have a relationship without it, basically?
No.
I mean,
that's kind of hard because it depends.
No, that's what I was about to say. I was about to say it depends on what we're compromising about, and then who the person we're really compromising with, because some people see things in a one-way perspective and some people see it in a two-way perspective. So what are we doing?
It's like my second ex-wife, she's Mormon, and I grew up Baptist, and I wasn't after being an adult.
I thought he said morbid at first. I was like,
he said he had a Mormon chick, them chicks that knock on the doors with the little flyers and shit and try to get you to convert.
No, that's a Jehovah's Witness.
I thought that was a Jehovah's Witness.
No, don't mix the Mormon and the J-Dubs. Don't mix them.
oh god.
I'm sorry.
They're similar in the sense that they go out and they talk to people as they walk by. Like some of them will go downtown into a busy area and they'll have a little literature and they'll want to talk to you. So for her, she wanted me to convert to her religion. And as I went through my life in the military, I strayed away from religion. I look at being a spiritual person more so than being a religious person.
Yes.
So I was explaining to her, I'm like, hey, look, if you choose that religion, I'm not going to stop you from exercising how you want to express it. That is perfectly fine with me. I have no problem with, going to the kids' special events. If one of our kids are giving a talk about something, I'll sit there and go. Be completely respectful of the atmosphere. But to sit there and be like, hey, I want you to convert to this religion, I'm like, sorry, I can't do that. And that was just one of our hangups where she wanted me to do it. And I was like, nah, I'm cool on that. Like, I care about you. I love you. I want to grow our family. We're having kids. We're doing this. I want to eventually buy a house, all this, yada, yada. But it's like, that was my one thing that I would not compromise on because I don't want to do something and be fake about it because that's what it would be. It would be me just faking the funk. And at the end of the day, that would be more harmful than good. And for her, they have a thing where you go into this temple and they call it being sealed together. And they give you like special pajamas and everything. It's like that. But they do. It's like white pajamas. It's like a white shirt and white pants or shorts that they give you. That once you go into the temple, you have to wear that stuff under your clothes at all times because that's what they believe.
You be hot.
I'm very serious. But that's what they did. So I looked at it like, okay, I'm not okay with this. So like, if we're sitting in church, they would have a day where people would go up and talk. In Baptist church, it's called having words. You either sing a song or you talk about how Jesus has been good to you. It would be people up there talking about, thank God I found my car keys this morning. He got me to get up and go to work. And then you look to your left in the pews over there, there's some kids with a damn sack lunch. They're sitting there. These motherfuckers opening potato chips, playing video.
Fuck out my face with that.
One kid busted a whole bag of pretzels all over the floor. Did nobody pick none of that shit up? It was just shit all over the ground. Kids ripping and running, crying and yelling. Like it, I can't even give you the picture. You have to see it yourself.
Sound like a daycare center more than a Mormon church.
It's crazy.
Really what I thought.
It is pure ass craziness. And I sat there and watched this, and I'm like, what is going on here? My kids were sitting there. They didn't say a word. They were quiet. They were paying attention. All these other kids, they broke out a full ass sack lunch in the middle of church. Let me do that at Barker Temple, downtown in Kansas City. I guarantee you're going to get choked. And that usher's going to tap you on your shoulder and be like, hey, come here, let me talk to you. They're going to take you off to the back.
Oh, no, he ain't take me off nowhere. He talking about taking me off to the back. Fuck you talking about?
Fuck out my face.
I know that shit right, Chris.
Anything you got to tell
that's
me.
actually how the
But that's one of those things. That's not going to happen in a Baptist church. You're not going to do that.
Oh, no.
Because, those elders in that church, they're not going to let that fly.
So let me say this,
But
though.
I didn't compromise with that.
So we can we say that different religion views can actually different religion views can actually make or break a relationship.
Yes, especially if they're drastically different. If they're drastically different, yes.
It can, but it doesn't have to.
Right, it doesn't have to, but it's very rare.
Hold on, Winston, please speak on that. It can, but it doesn't have to. Please speak that piece. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I know a lot of people. I have an uncle that's Muslim and his wife is Baptist. I have another aunt that's and her husband isn't. Like, he refused to convert. And that was a huge scandal because they're not supposed to even be with people who aren't of the same faith. But they were so connected that she made that sacrifice. Now, you cannot have compromise must exist in a relationship, but just because it exists doesn't mean you have to always concede. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to allow that person, put the compromise on the table, and you give your equal an opportunity to choose whether or not they can. And what you do, or at least what I do inside of my marriage of 13 years, is that I put it on the table, and if she can't completely commit to it, she lets me know how far she can meet me. And then I have to, because it's what I want, fill in the rest. That's how you complete the 100.
Okay.
It ain't always 50-50. And we talk about being naive. Anybody who's in a relationship thinking it always has to be 50-50 is setting themselves up for being perpetually irritated.
Exactly.
Right.
Failure.
Exactly.
I can agree.
I can agree with that too.
There are some days you're not going to be able to give a 50, let alone 100. Some days you're just existing. And that's when you need to have a strong partner who can carry you through. And then on the flip side, there are going to be days it's your turn to carry through.
Yeah, you got to be each other's crutches at all times. You have to be each other's crutches. I mean, if you don't know how to do that, then you're going to fail. If you don't know how to be your partner's support system, then you're not going to have a partner.
Right.
I think that's why when people get together, they have to be a complete person themselves.
100.
If you're not a complete person yourself, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, you can't give half of yourself to somebody else. Because if you're only half a person and you give away that half, that leaves you with nothing.
Well, and there's no integrity in entering a relationship when you haven't done your own shit and expecting someone else to come complete. No, thank you.
Right.
You don't deserve all this package when you haven't wrapped yourself up. No.
I had to learn that the hard way.
Talk your shit, Jennifer. Let's go, baby. Talk your shit.
No, seriously though. I mean, that's not a compromise I'm willing to make. I work hard on myself in all areas and bring myself, the best of myself, to everything I do. I'm not going to get a wish.com kind of dude in my life. No, thank you.
Wish is so foul. Wish is so
fuck out my face with that.
Thank you.
They're terrible.
There you go, Jennifer. I agree.
Go. I love you.
I'm not naming names or anything.
No, I know. I know.
No. You need to bring your complete self. But I'm not going to ask also for anything that I'm not willing to bring to the table either. So I think that's
exactly
unfair.
Exactly. I feel
because we got some people that get pissed off at a person because they can't afford to pay for something that person themselves can't afford to pay for. It's like, you can't get mad at me for not wanting to spend, $20,000 on the car when you can't afford $20,000 for a car. Like, that's not my fault.
Right.
That's agreeable. Well, what was it? The one thing I was going to say, like, kind of speaking on
Better
what,
catch your Uber.
what James.
What the fuck is she talking about?
Oh.
Better catch a lift. What is she talking about?
Right.
People do it.
My fault. Go ahead. I'm just having fun.
What was it? Basically, what I was going to say is I had an issue of like compromise. Obviously you have issues of compromise no matter who you're with. My ex-wife, and then obviously, my current girl. So the issue my ex-wife and I had is, I kind of told you the story before. My ex-wife was into all kinds of freaky, fun shit, like in the beginning, and then all of a sudden, like, she lost her brother. She lost her father, and then she, was diagnosed for cancer. This was all within like the span of a year. And when I say she found
your new
religion,
girl don't be listening to this show, Thelonious, because you do talk about a lot of old shit that your freaky ex-wife used to do, my nigga.
No, what is it?
Oh, man.
I'm basically just telling you the experience.
Go ahead.
Like literally, like, she set up and like, she decided to go all the way into her Catholicism and like, becoming a full-on Catholic. And that's not what and it's one thing if like I meet you in the relationship and I accept that when I first meet you and I say, okay, well, you know what, this is what I understand you are, and I'm willing to be that, or I'm willing to like be okay with that, with you. But when we meet and you're one way and then all of a sudden you change or you become this way more like conservative kind of person minded, in terms of religion, it just kind of shocked things. And I was like, holy crap. Like, all of a sudden everything that we were doing before was like out the window. And then she just became this strict, like God-fearing person. I was like, what the hell is this?
So,
and then at the same wait. And at the same time, I have my sister on Facebook sending a bunch of like Bible verses and all this other bullshit. And I was just like losing my mind because my sister, like, she apparently had went through her like conservative phase, and it was just annoying the hell out of me because I was catching it from both ends. And so was it the current situation of compromise I have? My girlfriend now, my girlfriend's like super liberal. Me, I'm a Republican, I'm conservative. But the funny thing is, it's like, we don't really fight about anything because I don't support this motherfucker in the White House right now, and neither does she. So, it's all right. We have our own views, but it's like, we at least discussed that when we came in. I feel like if you're going to make a compromise, it kind of needs to be one that is that you're open about. You know what I mean? Like, when you have those situations when it's kind of concealed or it's kind of sprung on you, in the midst of the relationship, and you're already like deep inside, it's like, it's kind of unfair because it's like, I get it, people change, but when it's such a drastic change, it's like I'm either forced to like, go along with it or, kind of jump off the ship one way or the other. Yeah. And that's kind of how I felt with my ex-wife. And then, it's like, I felt that way with other girls in the past. Like, it's like, it is what it is. Like, sometimes, like, they don't let you know that they expect you to compromise on some shit. And then all of a sudden they spring it on you. You're like, whoa, fuck did this come from?
So the question
hold on. I think it would be safe to say that when it comes to relationships, you have to understand the acronym of ACS, meaning always changing something. There's always something that's going to change in a relationship on a daily thing. So there's no way you could do 50-50 because some days it might have to be 60-40 or 70-30. So there's always going to be something changing in the relationship. It's a roller coaster basically, but you just have to be the person that's able to maintain that roller coaster and throw your hands up in the air when that shit gets
Exactly.
But I want to get back on topic though. I don't want to go too far off topic because we're talking about sexual chemistry.
Yeah.
I want to ask around the table. Go ahead, James.
So with that, the question was with big changes like that. So if somebody in the middle of a relationship makes a big change, would you expect them to sit down with you and have that conversation before that change takes place? Or bring that change to you after it's already happened? Well, what would you prefer and
before?
Why would it be a big issue?
It's a huge issue.
You
I
talk
think you
about it when it
gotta
happens.
speak about it, but you as the person receiving the information, you gotta be respectful and understand that they don't have to come to you about it. Like they don't have to get your permission in a sense with some stuff.
Exactly.
But
Mhm.
they should be compromising
loop.
enough to communicate.
Yeah, just keep you in the loop.
To keep you in the loop with
You're
what
right,
what
but
they
if it
going
affects
through.
our relationship, in a drastic manner, then you have an obligation to tell the person. You don't have because here. Well, first off, okay, that's if you're married. If you're dating, you can kind of go off your own way. But if I'm married to you, then all of a sudden you are now affecting me because I'm locked in this whole thing with you, regardless. So now everything you're doing is affecting me, and it's going to affect our day-to-day life. Like, if you're okay with one style of lifestyle before, and then all of a sudden we switch things up, and then you tell me, oh, I'm going to church I'm going to church every Sunday, and then all of a sudden, like, I expect us to say prayer before. I'm like, whoa, this shit never happened before. Now I gotta get on board. What the hell is this all about? Like,
Gotta learn some Bible verses.
Like, no,
Got my face with that
what was
shit.
it? Don't get me wrong. Like, I don't mind saying a prayer here and there, and I believe in God. It's just, with like the whole now we're going to church every fucking Sunday, and then not only that, we're going to like the most touristy fucking church on earth, St. Patrick's Cathedral, which is on 50 something street, which I got to drive to and then pay like $40 to park at like the damn place, and it's ridiculous. Like, I'm sorry, I'm venting a little bit.
You crazy, man. But hold on, Thelonious, hold on, because I want to get back to sexual chemistry. I want to go around.
We were actually on compromise, but we'll go back to sexual chemistry.
Because I want to ask people.
Now you jump.
What's the first thing that you notice on a person that makes you attracted to them?
Tits. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Go ahead, Thelonious. What's the first thing you notice on a female that makes you attracted to them? Because I want to talk about sexual chemistry. We're gonna go back and forth.
Honestly, it's style. It's style. I mean, obviously, the looks, but I like a woman with style. Like, I notice like if she has like good style, like then I'll.
So she gotta have on red bottoms to get your attention. She gotta have on some red bottoms.
No. What the hell is that? What is it?
Red bottoms.
Don't play like you don't know what red bottoms are.
You probably prepared for a few females.
What is red bottoms? I don't get it.
They're
Are they
high
just
dollar
red bottoms?
shoes. They're shoes that have red bottoms. They're Louboutins.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Really expensive shoes.
Okay. I would have fucked the name of
Jennifer,
it. Yes.
Me too. I was about to.
I was like,
Okay.
Matter of fact, Jennifer, how many pairs of red bottoms do you have?
I know that.
Teacher, I own sneakers and flats.
Okay.
I know that shit, right, Jennifer? I fucks with you, Jennifer.
I have to chase the kids.
Right.
Nah, but Thelonious, go ahead. The first thing you said the first thing that attracts you to a female is her style. So I want you to elaborate on that.
Okay, so first off, I don't like a woman that's dressed like ridiculously overly revealing. I like a woman that looks like business casual but like sexy in a sense. Like, looks I would say like, looks like she has her shit together, but at the same time, there's like a slight twinkle where you're like, okay, I kind of see she has a good figure and what have you, but I don't want somebody that's like dressed all like to be honest, if I see a girl dressed all slutty, I'm not interested at all. Not at all. I don't even want to talk to her. Like, that's not my style. I need a woman that I can.
Thelonious, are you saying there's a difference between flattering and flaunting?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely. There you go.
I'm not mad at that. So the first thing that attracts you to a female, hold up, because I want to get around to everybody. So the first thing that attracts you to female is her style. Basically, how she's presenting, how she's carrying herself visually.
Her style and how she's carrying herself. Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Jennifer, let's get to you. What's the first thing you notice on the man that attracts you to him?
Let's see. I am a sucker for tall, dark, handsome, nice smile, and an accent.
Oh shit!
I know what I like.
Oh,
I know that shit, right?
I had to bust a gunshot for that. I normally don't bust gunshots for this show, but Jennifer is on one, so she gets gunshots. All right, so tall, dark, and so it's basically the appearance, the presentation. Is it basically?
Oh, at first, yeah, definitely. Like that smile, kind of like the twinkle behind your eyes. They just have that swag and that confidence. That's attractive.
What's the height requirement, Jennifer? So for the viewers,
you must be at least 6'1" to ride this ride.
At least 6'1".
Not saying I haven't participated in others, and that's just not my style. No.
Okay. How tall are you, Jennifer?
I'm 5'7", 5'8".
Okay. It makes sense. So you like your dudes to be 6'1". Okay.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yes.
I could dig it. Glow. What's the first thing that attracts you to a man?
His smile.
Okay. So he gotta have a good set of choppers. He gotta have all those teeth. You know what I mean? All those. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like his smile and also how he carry himself. That's attractive to me.
Okay. I respect that. James, what's the first thing that attracts you to a female when you see him for that sexual chemistry?
I love eyes, because your eyes do not lie. No matter what comes out of your mouth, your eyes do not lie whatsoever. They will tell on you in a heartbeat. Especially if you're trying to do something that you're really not trying to do, your eyes will definitely tell on you.
Okay. So you looking into their soul, you looking into their eyes, you want to see deep.
You got to.
I mean? I can dig it.
Because
I agree. I like eyes too, James. And
they're going to speak way more.
Yeah, I'm attracted to eyes too.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Because you can tell, like, a lot of people, when you first meet them, you're not meeting them initially, you're meeting a representative. So they're going to try to sell themselves in that situation of why you should be there. Okay. And when they're talking, I look people in the eyes. That's just my habit. And I'm looking them in the eyes, and if they're talking doesn't match what their eyes are saying, I know they're full of shit. And it's either I'm going to take advantage of the situation and use it, the way I want to use it, or I'm gonna exit that situation and just let it go.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I can dig it. Shyness, where you at, sweetheart?
Yes, we're here. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the trio. We got the trio in there. I love all three of y'all. Let's go with Shyness first, and then we're gonna let the people there go with you as well. What's the first thing that attracts you to a man?
Intellect.
Huh? She said intellect.
The intellect. So once it's
you don't know the intellect until you talk to him.
Yeah. So I start speaking to you, and they start speaking as if, oh my God, you didn't even learn ABC. I'm out.
She said if you didn't even learn ABC, I'm out.
I know that shit right, Shyness. I'm with you. I'm out too. Shit. Nobody got time.
Shyness, I'm right there with you. But I think the question is, what's the first thing that makes you even want to talk to a person?
Yeah.
Like, without even knowing anything about them.
Yeah. Just looking at them?
Yeah.
No, nothing. Because you can look so sweet and fly suit.
And you open your mouth.
You open your mouth, you can't
Yes.
So let me tell you this. Right now, I see this thing people are doing. They spell wrong. They speak wrong English. They cannot
articulate themselves.
My goodness. Right now, I was wanting, I was needing. That's not proper English. That's past, present continuous. Why are you speaking like that?
But before all of that, though, Shyness, like before they even talk or anything, like what would attract you to even want to speak to them?
Is it their skin tone, their complexion, their eyes, their smile, the way they walk, the way they dress? Like,
all right,
we're trying to get you to be a little crude here.
I'm with you.
Take the hint.
You know you got a wandering eye, Shyness. Don't act like that, baby. You know your eyes wander, baby.
All right. No belly. If you have a belly, out. Beard.
Okay, good.
No beard. So let me say what attracts me. Clean shave, nice toned body, no muscle, no big muscles, but nice toned body.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay. She's gripping that hand kind of hard now. Keep going.
Yes, she did.
What are you holding on to with that, Shyness? What are you holding on to?
Ain't that shy?
Nothing. Just nothing.
Okay.
Creating it and casting it into the universe. Leave her be. She
Talk
got
your
this.
talk, baby. Talk your talk.
My husband, like I mentioned in the previous show before, we've been together for 20 years. He's never had fat in his body. He's never had a belly. He never has facial hair and things like that. So I'm attracted to him because of the way he carries himself over all these years. Has been the same size, the same weight. Fabulous. That's it.
Nice.
Do you feed him? You feed him, right?
You said, damn right I feed him. I'll tell you what I feed him.
Well, what are you doing with your hand right now?
Work it off.
I say,
You look like you could throw down in the kitchen too. You look like you could throw down in the kitchen, Shyness.
we cook. We don't deep fry our food. We cook African food, mostly British food, which they always bake. So it's healthy food at all times. We always have vegetables. We always have fruits in every meal. So yes, he does eat and he eats very well. I wish I can pull him here.
You can pull him over, but I was just messing with you.
All right, let me get to some of the ladies that's in the house with you. Ladies, what attracts you to a man?
For me, I think style and a scent. I need my man to actually smell good. That I usually tan and pacify and smelling good. That's the first thing we pick. That's the first thing.
Oh yeah, my fragrance, baby. Smell my aroma, baby.
I'm back on the man now.
Let's get it.
You know what? A man that smells good makes you really think about what he can really do in bed. Like it just be like, damn, he smells
That's the
good.
gym right there. Y'all better pick up that gym. You heard it from Glow. Y'all better pick up that gym. If you smell good, they might think about what you do, how you do it. You did.
For real. Like you can't smell this good for nothing.
Right.
No, it's a man that smell good for nothing. Trust me. For nothing at all.
I just won't be one of them. I smell good for a reason, baby.
I haven't smelled you yet.
Hold on. Let's get back to Shyness crew. We got one more. We got the third member of the crew. Shyness, where you at? Let's get back to her.
So for me, it would be their swagness and their teeth. Really
Gotta have them choppers, baby.
good.
You wouldn't believe how many people don't.
Gotta have them choppers, baby. So they swag in their teeth. That's what does it for you. Winston, you still in the building, Winston?
Yeah, I'm here.
What attracts you to a female?
I'm attracted to authenticity. I need to have someone who don't look or feel or trying to be like anybody else, walking unapologetically in their truth. If I look at you and you are doing you, then that's attractive to me.
I can dig it.
You don't need no copycat.
J. Marie, what attracts you to a man?
The way he carries himself, how he smells, if he can look me in the eye when he's talking to me.
Oh yes.
And he got to be taller than me.
Yes.
How tall are you, J. Marie? Let them know how tall are you, baby.
5'9".
5'9"?
Hush, Jennifer, hush. You don't know these things.
Y'all ain't gonna be short people. 5'9".
Okay.
Really?
So everybody went so far, so let me go ahead and speak my piece.
Hold
What
on.
attracts me to a female? I have to see you, and your face has to draw my attention. Your eyes, like the way your eyes are, your face. I'm attracted to short females, thick females, bow-legged females. I love them. Light-skinned females. I love them. I love my dark-skinned females too. But it's just all about the physical appearance. Like if I look at you and I have to take a double take, then it's like, oh shit, yeah, let's go that away. Know what I mean? So it's things of that nature. But I think that people have different things that stand out about them that can actually make you attracted to them that you wouldn't normally be attracted to. If you think about it from that perspective.
I can agree.
You have to have an open mind in order for that to really hit right there. Because if you go outside the box sometimes that's what's better for you. When you go outside the box, when you think outside the box and you just go for something new and intriguing, that might be more to your kind, but you won't know if you never take that test. So don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. You dig? Who was gonna say something? Go ahead.
It's the human experience.
Yeah.
You don't ever want to cheat yourself out of the human experience. Because
It's a
a
nice
different
game.
culture, different nationality, all of those things can add to who you are as a person. You can learn something from that person that you had no idea that you could have learned.
And the thing I think that's most important when it comes to when you're dealing with people, whether it's relationship, whether new, old, or whatever you're doing with who you do it with, I think understanding the person is first and foremost. Knowing what makes that person tick. Like you have to
generally, because you'll never know with a woman.
Yeah,
if you try to sit there and try to do that, you'll never get it.
But
that is
you have
impossible.
to. But in order to understand a person, you have to actually sit there and communicate with them. Because if somebody's telling you something specifically, there's no way you can't comprehend it unless you just choose not to.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you will never fully understand how a woman's brain works or how they work. You can get a general understanding. You know your left and right limits for sure, but you will never fully understand how their brain works. That's the part that keeps us attracted, is because we want to learn, but it never happens.
I kind of looked at that kind of.
I don't feel like it's that much of an. I don't feel like it's that much of an enigma.
Left it like a broad statement, like women. It's not. I'm not trying to understand. I'm not trying to understand how women's brain works.
No, you trying to understand.
I'm trying to understand how my woman brains work.
Yes, but the thing is, you never will, because the way they think is so complex. It's not going to be something that we're going to ever understand. Now we can spend a lifetime trying to. We can go every single day, give all of our energy and try.
You build it up in your head. That's not that big of a deal.
Wait, Thelonious, wait a second. James, what were you finish what you were saying?
I was saying that you can spend a lifetime trying to. You'll get the general understanding of how your woman operates. You know the big things. But I've seen older couples that have been married 30, 40, 50 years that their husbands still don't understand how they think. Now, it's a beautiful thing that they're still together, but from the conversations I've had, they say that the reason why they've stuck around is because they want to find out. They've spent that time trying to find out. It's like that information that somebody asks you a question, or like you have a question that you want to ask somebody. So you follow them around trying to ask that question, and they put that question off so it keeps your attention. And that's my little comparison of how
I ain't about to follow nobody around.
I'm trying to figure out how the hell you with somebody 10 and 20 years and you don't know this person.
Thank you. No.
You never will fully
you,
understand them. You want to. You'll understand generally how they are, but you can never really put your understanding of their mind. You'll never fully understand it. You never
I gotta
will.
keep it black and white, fam. Only thing you need to understand is what makes them happy and what makes them mad, and you want to do what makes them happy more than what you do that makes them mad, and that's all that matters.
That's pretty simple.
Exactly. Yeah, dude.
Pretty simple.
This guy James has a whole board of equations and shit to try to figure out what a woman's brain is. It's not that fucking complicated, bro.
He was giving me some fucking physics.
It's not that fucking. I know. Like
we switch up
the chemical formula for inertia.
Hey, James, all of y'all, all the young ladies on this panel, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
No, they don't.
I may not have put in the correct words. My words may have not been exactly what I meant, but you know in the back of your mind what the hell I'm talking about.
Hey, ladies, can I ask you this? Ladies, ladies, did I make it simple enough?
You made it very simple.
That is definitely
you made it very, very simple. As long as we are happy and you don't do shit to fuck with us or aggravate us or anything in that manner.
Or give the appearance of.
Exactly. Like, just don't fuck with us. Like, keep us happy.
I'm not going to say I can make you happy every day.
Yes, you can. Bring me a margarita and a taco.
Exactly. That's what I was getting ready to say. Bring me some chocolate. You know, I'm like,
happy
oh,
more than I
babe, you
make
brought me
mad.
some chocolate.
I'm
Oh
gonna
my
make you happy more
God.
than I make you mad. That's all I'm gonna say. I might make you mad,
I mean,
but hey, I'm gonna make
just
you more
balancing
happy
it
than I
out.
make you mad.
You can't be happy all the time.
Exactly.
Yo, we've been on for a good hour and 16 minutes, chilling, chopping it up on Fresh Poetry. Anybody got any last words or last assessments? I don't want to keep everybody up too late. I know it's midnight in the East Coast. What's good? Any last words when it comes to sexual chemistry or, anything else?
I just want to say that I've learned a good bit about sexual chemistry. I understand that people have their own ways of what sexual chemistry is because we are all not the same. So whatever turns you on, turns you on.
Yeah, it's your prerogative. Shout out to
It's
Barbara
your
Brown.
prerogative. Exactly.
Did y'all see the stuff that I texted about this week?
The what?
The stuff I texted you in that group? Did y'all see that medical stuff that I texted?
I'm not sure.
Yes, no,
man.
baby, fuck off.
That might be
stop
something
talking.
behind the scenes we might have to
See
chop
that?
it up with. I don't know. But sexual chemistry. Jennifer, you got any last words on sexual chemistry? Any advice you want to give the fellas or the ladies?
Ooh, I'll give y'all some advice. The best sexual chemistry comes with some of that tantric intimacy. So
yes,
bring some of that shit to the game. And
what is that?
You won't have to be 6'1".
Like, what is it?
Google's your friend.
Yeah, Google it.
Yep.
We don't need to talk about that on here.
We be
What
on
is
here
it called?
for an hour and 16 minutes.
Hold on, why not? Why we don't need to talk about
What is it called?
Tantric intimacy. Google. I'll put it in the chat box for you.
Tantric?
Yes, tantric intimacy.
Thelonious, you got any last words or any advice you want to give the ladies or the fellas for sexual chemistry, sir?
Right.
Oh, Thelonious is silent on this one. Let's get it. Winston, any advice you want to give when it comes to sexual chemistry?
Only thing I can say is the best thing to do is to stay open, because what you liked yesterday could completely change from what you need today.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can fucking hear me. Whatever.
I can hear you now, Thelonious.
Oh, okay.
Jesus.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Was somebody talking?
Yeah, Winston was talking. Winston stated the advice that he wanted to give male and female is when it comes to sexual chemistry, just be open. Now, I mean, be authentic, be organic. Now, I mean, know what you want, go for it, and maybe it'll pop off that way. Was that wrong or right, Winston? I don't want to say your shit wrong.
No, you good. I was just saying on top of that, what you wanted yesterday might not be what you need today.
Exactly.
You gotta be willing to compromise.
Yep. So when you want it, know that you want it, and you want it for a while. Now, I mean, don't just want it for the moment. Know you want it and stick with it. You dig? I agree with that. Thelonious, when it comes to sexual chemistry, any advice you want to give to the ladies or the fellas, sir?
Well, basically, what I said before is I think sexual chemistry is an important part of the relationship. I just don't think it is the most important part. I mean, obviously, when I was younger, that was something that was the biggest thing in the world. Nowadays, that I'm looking at it from an older perspective and a more experienced perspective. I think sexual chemistry is probably, it's a lot less. Like, I need to have that emotional, kind of connection with someone. I need to have that kind of, passion in a non-sexual sense along with the sexual sense. And it's like, I just feel like, sex is a part of a relationship, but it's not the biggest fucking thing. It's not the biggest thing. And I mean, you may not have the crazy chemistry, but at least you can have a good connection, and you can build. I don't really think chemistry as much as you can build, the passion. You can build the passion, and that's fine with me. As a matter of fact, I feel like, in some cases where I've had really strong sexual chemistry with people, the relationship kind of petered out really quickly because it was something that just burned too hot, too quickly, because it's all of the chemistry and all the excitement was there and everything, and then boom, but there wasn't much else to build a relationship on,
Yeah.
So I honestly think that, the sexual chemistry, while important, it's not the most important thing in the world. I feel like the rest of the equation is the bigger picture. You know, how you guys connect, whether or not you think the person is a good partner, you know, in many senses, whether or not you think that there's a relationship to build on top of the sex.
Okay, I can dig that. I can dig that. Shyness, you still there? I want to know if you got any advice you want to give the you got any advice you want to give the ladies or the fellas when it comes to sexual chemistry?
Right. So there's a lot of discussion around sexual chemistry. For me, I'm going to come in with the marriage part. I know everyone has different experiences within the relationship and marriages, but within the marriage, if you've been together with a partner
in a second, babe.
A year, 2 years, 10 years, there's one of it's 13 years, some 20 years, the sexual chemistry will change within the relationship. I would advise that you have to go back and see what really attracted you to your partner and rekindle this chemistry. Take the person for a long time or for a short time, depending. It can be a year, like I say, it can be longer. Sometimes you tend to lose that physical attraction or sexual attraction. But if it's one of the important things within your relationship, you need to go back and see what actually really attracted both of you towards each other and try and rekindle it, try and bring it back. It may come back, it may not, but before you have power, I would advise to try and rekindle it, look back, talk, communicate, discuss, and see how best you can bring that back and maintain it. Because it can stay longer if you choose. Thank you.
Yeah, I could dig it. I could definitely dig it. James, you got any last words, fam? Any advice you want to give? And then we're gonna go to Glow with Jay Marie.
I would say like on Love Jones, he said when people say that the love is gone, it's not the fact that it's gone, it's that they've exhausted the possibilities. And as long as you keep the possibilities open, you can do anything you choose to do. You can take it to whatever level you want to take it to.
Yes, sir. I can dig it. Glow, any last words when it comes to sexual chemistry? Any advice for the ladies or the fellas?
Basically, do you, like I already said, like just
do what you do.
Like I said, whatever just turns you on, let it flow. Like, don't try to force anything on anyone. Just go with the flow. And if it's not what your flow is, you know how to get out of it. Period.
Exactly. All right, Jay Marie, it's up on you. Any advice you want to give the fellas or the ladies?
Just generally have a conversation and be in tune with whoever you into, so that way you can be aware of, what could turn them on, what could turn them off, and things like that. And you just be aware of that in your interactions with them. And hopefully you can have that sexual chemistry, and hopefully you can maintain it.
Exactly.
All right, I could dig it.
That's all I can say on that one.
All right. So, when it comes to sexual chemistry, I say, hey, you know what you like, and if it like you back, go ahead and like each other. Shit, just make sure y'all well protected. Sanitize.
Wash your hands.
Don't make no unnecessary kids in the world. Don't bring no unnecessary kids in this world. It's crazy enough as it is. But y'all already know what it is. Yo, shout out to Devin. Devin came in the building. Devin, you there?
Hey.
All right, you came in late. Devin came in all late at the end of the show. Come on.
I was listening.
We're going to be behind
I was listening in the car, but I just got
okay.
Home,
so. Okay, no doubt. Salute to Devin. Devin, you got any words or any things on sexual chemistry, what it means to you or what attracts you to a man right quick before we get out of here?
Just for me, I have to go on a vacation with him to see if I can travel with him. And we travel well.
Vacation already. We ain't even have a drink.
But I like to travel with people. That's in general. Like if I meet somebody, I can have fun with them in a bar. But if I go out of the state with them somewhere, if you can travel with people, then you can get along with them. I can use
criminal minds.
Can you trust them to do that?
But that's just what I do.
I gotta get to know you to travel with you first?
Yeah. What the fuck going to a resort or something? We'll go to resort, go to Vegas.
You ain't going to motherfucking place if I don't know you.
That's on the episode. I feel the same way, J. Marie. That's how I feel. I'm not going no motherfucking where if I don't know you.
I'm not going to the.
Need to review your case net. I need your social security for your background.
No, we need all of that.
Like I said, nice to meet you. You want to go to Vegas?
Hold on. Nah, let Deborah finish her thought though, because she's saying basically, if getting to know somebody, she like sitting down having a drink with them at a resort at the bar. So go ahead, Devin, finish your thought.
I was just saying, like when I meet people, we meet at a bar or we meet out. We may talk on the phone, but to really feel their chemistry, whether it's sexual or just friendship, I like to travel with them. Because if I can't travel with you, you can't be my friend. That's just it. I mean, seriously. And I don't go by myself.
You need those frequent flyer miles and a passport.
But I don't go by myself.
Hey, nice to meet you. I'm going to Paris next week.
I take some people with me. It's not just me, but I take somebody
Paris
with me.
isn't taking Americans. Sorry, UN does not accept us.
Oh, let's get it.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That's what it is, man.
I've done some crazy shit, but nothing like that.
Can you tell the people what attracts you to a gentleman? What makes you attracted to a male when you see him at first sight?
His hands.
His hands. Now, I mean, you gotta have these hands cover your whole face.
Like you can tell if he's a hard worker by what his hands look like.
Oh, you want calluses on them shits?
No. I kind of like. I have a look. I kind of like them a little rough around the edges, but they're not rough around the edges. But just tall, good conversation.
Okay.
But I've been with the same person for 5 years, so I haven't been really looking.
All right, that's what it is. That's what it is. But we ain't gonna waste no time. Shout out to everybody that came through. Shout out to the homie Winston. Shout out to Thelonious. Shout out to Jennifer. Shout out to Shyness and the trio. Shout out to James. Shout out to Devin. Did I miss anybody? No, I don't think I missed anybody. Shout out to my co-host, the newest member of the crew. Conversations with Glow, Cola Glow. Y'all already know. Make sure y'all follow her on Twitter, follow her on Instagram, Facebook, whatever the case may be. And then definitely shout out to no other than the one and only hardworking woman, J. Marie Poetry. Now, make sure y'all follow her on Instagram, Twitter, the whole nine, Facebook. And then you know me, Harlem Fresh 125 all day, every day. Even when I'm out of state, I'm in the New York state of mind. This is a no knockoff production, Fresh Poetry. We see y'all next Wednesday, and we love y'all. We up out of here. Peace.
Bye, y'all. Peace out.